What is happening, YouTube? This is Hayes Anderson with a quick video on my studio setup. I wanted to talk about how I power things up once I get ready to start doing a jam. First of all, there are two sections. Over here on the left is the main rig, and over here on the right is the micro station, as well as more additions that kind of add and piggyback on top of it. So first of all, I try to power up the micro station first, generally speaking. I don't have to, but I do like to use a lot of it. So back behind my computer here, I have a power switch, and that powers up the microstation for the most part. There are a few things that I need to worry about, such as cycling the power for my vid picks down here. No idea why I need to do this, but, well, I mean, I kind of understand why. It's because I'm copying the video signal and sending it to two different places, and now there's a lot of wheels in that, there's a lot of cog wheels in that little machine that gets that going. So what I have to do is make sure that I have a way to turn on different devices at different times so that when the time comes, I should be able to get a video signal from the vidpicks. Any minute now, boom, there it goes. Then the Ferrofish B4000, being a German product, you have to power it up manually every time. And that's just something that their government makes them do. Talk about anyways. So moving on, another thing I need to do is turn off the effect for the giga delay. Now everything is ready to go mostly. I do have a set of speakers here, stereo, that I can use to monitor. So now I should be able to hear some things. Awesome. More things. Awesome. So all of this is set and ready to go. For the most part, I have access to, of course, the MS1, the VC340, as well as the Ferrofish B4000 via the MS1. As you can hear it, I also have access to quite possibly the TD3 maybe. I think it's not going to, yeah, MIDI and whatever. And possibly the TR06. Yeah, we can hear some stuff. Awesome. So, of course, everything is working over here now. So what is left to do is to, well, let's talk about, like, real quick. Let's try a quick experiment. For example, I don't have access to the strike FET via these keyboards until the main station is powered up because of Bluetooth MIDI, which, by the way, if we can see back here, maybe there's a little Bluetooth, that blue light, that is Bluetooth MIDI, in and out going into the VC340. We'll get to that in a second. Over here is one of my RK006 from Retro Kits, one of the most amazing MIDI hubs you can get if you can get your hands on one. So hopefully if I press power this up, this is set to MIDI channel 13. If I hit play, will we hear the strike FET? Very interesting. We do. We also hear the TD3 playing its sequence because it's coming through MIDI. And, you know, one of my complaints about the TD3 is that it is really, really hard to use in terms of its MIDI, its CV, its internal clock. It just doesn't do what you want it to do. You have to set everything up to use with any specific situation. So it's not very flexible, but other than that, you know, what do you expect? It's $100. And so great, all that works. Wonderful experiment. So now let's come over here behind the ARP 2600. Pardon the lack of light right now, I do apologize. There we go. The idea is that this is just a temporary spot for the 2600. I say ARP, excuse me, the BARP 2600. So behind it is a power switch that I'm going to hit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it, and I'm going to try to run over here as quick as I can to show you what I'm looking for. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, here we go. Everything is powering up. What I'm looking for here is my other RK006, my first one. Let's wait for it. Wait for it. Boom, there it goes. That is critical. What I believe that we just witnessed was the Bluetooth MIDI behind me synchronizing, and everything is copacetic. Now what we have are a few units are not powered on. The pyramid, I used to always have it automatically power up, but I don't because it needs to have the ability to synchronize with everything. And this took me a long time to figure out. But what I do is I wait for that blink that you just saw in the RK006. Now I'm going to power on the pyramid, but I'm going to do so via this little USB port over here. And you're just going to have faith that when I press this button, it's going to power the pyramid on. You saw that it was off. And again, we're going to look for, there it goes, another bam, another blink. Now we're good to go. So the pyramid is on, and hiding underneath here, you barely see it, that little red box right there. That's called my honey tone, and that's my little reference speaker. So I'm going to try to, with one hand, change the MIDI channel to USB 1, and now we should be able to hear a tone. And we do. Now when I come over here to the VC340, same tone. Awesome. So now the vocoder VC340 has full access to all MIDI, everything, right across the board. So what's finally left to do is now I can turn on the poly-in tracker. This is going through USB MIDI as well, so I needed to make sure that it doesn't interfere. If this comes on before everything else does, then this will not synchronize, and it causes a lot of problems. Like I said, it took me a long time to figure that out. Here's another wonderful German device that you have to power up manually every time. I've also got to power up each one of these little cords individually, and I've also got to set the BPM on each one of these each time. So my current jam is set to 133, so I'll have to go through and set all those up. And then the final device, in terms of music device, is the Korg Voca Kick. Have to power that up thusly. Now then, I have three main mixers. One is down here on the rack. It's at the very bottom. One of my Alesis, what are these things called again? Sorry. Alesis T whatever. You can't have everything in memory, right? Okay. So I'm going to manually power up this mixer. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want all these signals slamming the preamps going into these. And then finally I power up the main mixer. And that's just to prevent like a lot of spikes. I think for the most part it's not really good. It really only matters when it hits the speakers and your headphones and things like that. So speaking of headphones, now I can turn up my headphones with this little phone jack. And the reason why I keep this down is, again, just to make sure that spikes don't hit the speakers and the headphones and other things. So now I should be able to hear all kinds of stuff. I might be able to load my latest project. Okay, we got that up and running. And it's just a weird thing that always happens, so let's see. So you can hear all of that. And finally, one last thing. Oh yeah, we can also turn on the R2600 if you want to. We can hear it. I have one more little speaker down here that I can power up. Fun stuff. Okay, so that is all that I wanted to show you in this video, how I power everything up. And everything is now up and running, and I can get back to work. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.